Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Tanya. Today I am bringing you a whole bunch of cleaning motivation. We are working in my master bedroom. We're going to do a little bit of extra dusting, some laundry, also deep cleaning my master bathroom, and then the entire kitchen. I am going to go through every single appliance we have. It's going to be a lot of scrubbing and a lot of cleaning motivation and a lot of satisfying end results. I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you so much for being here. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Today we are starting in the bedroom and I am just going to make the bed real fast. I feel like I have so much to do in this video, and the bedroom is where I'm starting. I will actually, after my bed is made, go ahead and come in here and do a good dusting on all the surfaces, including my bed, side table, and then I have a couple of other side tables. We're gonna clean mirrors and shelves and everything else and get this room feeling super fresh to start this cleaning. No sound. I'll find valid in your eyes. Making my bed has got to be one of my favorite chores because it is so easy to do, it is so quick to do, and it makes such a huge difference. Every time I walk into my room, I just get so excited when my bed is made because it makes me feel like my room is actually clean. So now that that is done, I am moving on to the side table. I'm giving every single thing on here a dusting. I am just using a damp, dry rag. That just means I put a little bit of water on one part of the rag so it's a little bit wet, and then it's dry on the rest of it so that I can basically wipe with the wet part and dry with the dry part, if that makes sense. I'm also taking care of my bed. That bed does collect dust because it's a sleigh bed. And then I'm coming over here to this little side table. I am using glass cleaner on this and spraying all of this different glass. There's 3 tiers to this table, so it does collect dust pretty well. On the bottom shelf we have a jar of decorative marbles, and I am not going to lift it. It is so heavy, so I'm just dusting around it, but I'm also dusting off my picture and the flowers as well. And then once this is taken care of, I'm going to move over to the other side. I just have another small glass table, and then my mirror. This gets dusty just because of the way the angle is, because it kind of leans back, and then it also gets fingerprints on it from opening and closing it. And then while I'm over here, I'm going to take care of this bookshelf as well. Now moving on to the laundry, I did bring up our clean clothes, which you know is something that I tend to put off if I can. So I'm just sorting through here, and every time I bring up clean clothes, this is what I do. I fold things based on where they go, because we have some parts of our closets that are folded. Some stuff goes into dressers, so I do fold these things, and some stuff also is in fabric containers, so I actually roll them. So I do all of that as I sort everything, and then after I have it all sorted, then I will put it all away in each specific spot in my closet or dresser. Now I'm going to move on to a deep clean of the bathroom. So I do this every week, but I only do it once a week, the deep clean, and then the rest of the week I just wipe surfaces basically and pick up. And I find that this is a really good way to keep everything clean. So here I'm just using some soft scrub. I really like this product for sinks and counters. And then I'm just taking a wet brush and scrubbing all of the sink and even the faucet and handles and around the sink. And then I'm just going to take with my hands and use the water and kind of lift it up and rinse the sink and the faucet and things down. That's just the easiest way I find to clean it, even though it's kind of inconvenient with my hands. But once it's all rinsed down, I just take a dry rag and go over it, and this just gives everything a really good clean and polished feel once it's all done. If you're wondering why we don't have the little stopper thing screwed in there, that's just because this is my husband's sink and he shaves over here and he just likes the water to flow a little faster, so we just unscrewed that and we don't keep it on there. But while I'm over here with the dry rag, now that it's a little bit damp, I'm also wiping off all of the other things that are sitting over here. So my husband's cologne, the soap dispenser, the Q-tip holder and things like that, because like my rag is damp, it works really well just to wipe all the surfaces down. And then I'm going to move over to my sink and do the same exact thing. While I'm doing all this cleaning, I decided to go ahead and clean my beauty blender as well. I set the dirty ones behind my soap dispenser just for when I'm waiting to actually wash them, but sometimes it takes me forever to actually get to washing them. So I figured I would take care of that now. Of course, I did that after I cleaned the sink, which was kind of not smart, but that's okay. So I'm just taking my base soap and squeezing it onto the beauty blender, and then I just have some water that I set in the sink and like pulled the stopper up, and I'm just using that to work the soap in, and then I'm going to take and rinse it out with clean water. And then I'm going to have to rinse down my sink now so that the makeup is not on there anymore. Now I am replacing my little tiered tray. This is where I keep all of my makeup brushes and then any kind of face products that I use in the mornings and the evenings. And I am going to be completely honest, I do not dust this very often just because it's kind of a pain to take everything off. But I like having this tiered tray just because it's convenient to have everything sitting here. And it's just the best way I've found to store that kind of stuff in this bathroom, because it's not a big bathroom, even though it seems kind of big. It's not like there's a lot of storage in it. And being a female, you just end up having a lot of products. So this works for me, but it does need a good dusting. So I'm taking everything off of it, and I'm also dusting all of the products because, again, this is not something that gets cleaned very often. So the products actually get a little bit dusty as well.
Beside you, I would. Even if you're gone, I won't forget you. You're all I know, what I need, and that ain't changing. And even if you're gone, I will remember. You're all I know, what I need, and that ain't changing.
So now I'm gonna go ahead and clean the mirror. I'm just using regular old glass cleaner, and then I do have a glass cleaning cloth. I love these things. I can't even remember where I got it, probably like Amazon or who knows, maybe Walmart or something, but if you don't have one of these, look into getting one because they work so well on any kind of glass and mirrors, and it doesn't leave any streaks. And then I'm also going to clean and wipe down both of my windowsills because those get a little bit dusty and also get hairspray on them. And then I'm going to move on to the toilet. So I'm just using some Lysol toilet cleaner, and then I'm just gonna let that sit in there and soak for a minute. And then I am using this Clorox Greenworks, and I'm gonna spray down the entire toilet from top to bottom. And I do use paper towels on the toilet just because I don't know why. I think it's a little bit weird personally for myself to use like reusable rags on it. I just can't bring myself to do it because it's the toilet. It's like a mental thing and there's no reason for it. I just don't like to do it. So I am using paper towels to clean the toilet, and I'm going to clean every single part of it with the paper towels and the Greenworks cleaner.
Shaky and I'm slurring 'cause I'm nervous. It's you.
Since the outside of the toilet is now all clean, I'm just going to take a toilet bowl brush and scrub the inside. I do also have the Clorox toilet wand with the little, I don't even know what they're called. They're like these little sponge tab things that you can just throw away after each use. And I like them, but every once in a while I feel like my toilet just needs a little bit deeper of a clean. So that is why I do that. Now that my bathroom is all clean, except for the floors, we'll get to that later, I'm gonna go work in the kitchen. So the first thing I'm going to do is empty my dishwasher. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that this is like a miracle that I don't have dishes in my sink. I actually loaded and washed the dishes the night before. I'm so proud of myself because I usually let myself skip that part and give myself a break because I usually have such busy days and I get so tired. And after dinner, it's usually finishing homework and bedtime for the kids, and I'm taking care of the animals and stuff like that. And the last thing I want to do is do dishes. But I was proud of myself the night before I actually did it. And so now all I have to do is unload, and I don't even have to load new dishes. So that's awesome. Before I start in on all the appliances, I'm just going to give the dishwasher a little bit of a scrub with this brush. I'm getting the top and then all of the sides where it, like the door meets the actual dishwasher, because I find that that collects dirt and debris. And then I'm wiping down the whole front and the handle of the dishwasher as well. This is a newer dishwasher and I do run cycles in it to clean it, and it doesn't need it right now. So that is why I am not cleaning the inside of the dishwasher. And then once this is done, I am going to move over to the stovetop. So the last time I deep cleaned my stove and my oven, it's been like 6 months, 7 months. I don't even know. It was February 2020. It seems like ages ago because this year has been insane. So it needs a lot of love. So I'm just going to take off the burners and the drip pans, and I'm gonna throw the drip pans directly in the dishwasher. I have years ago bought these black drip pans, and that is just a little tip for you if you have a stovetop that has silver ones. Those things, everything gets like caked on them and they always end up looking bad. So get black, they will last you for years. And then I'm going in to the top of my stove and I'm just using baking soda with a spoon, and I'm just spreading it out around the edges of where those drip pans sit. And then I have some vinegar in a spray bottle, and I am just spraying the baking soda. I'm not saturating it completely because I want some of the baking soda to stay dry so I can scrub with it. And then I'm just taking a sponge with the scrubby part, and I am going around all of this, and this is the best way I've ever found to get rid of any kind of food or cooked on stuff that sits on your stovetop. If you've never tried it, give it a try. Baking soda and vinegar, it's all natural and it works so well. And then I just take my wet sponge and clean up any extra baking soda, and then I am also taking a dry rag and wiping that down as well. And then I'm moving on to the front of the stove. I'm just taking off the little knobs and wiping those down, and then giving it a wipe underneath, and then also wiping the entire surface of that, including the top, because that does collect a little bit of dust and sometimes spices from my spices above that.
Look, if you don't wanna change.
Next, I'm going to lift up the top of my stove top. I always do this when I'm cleaning this just because things spill down here and it can collect food and that stuff gets cooked on. I'm doing the same exact thing. I am spreading out some baking soda and spraying it with vinegar, and then I will scrub it with my sponge, wipe it clean with a wet sponge, and then dry it with my rag. I have also preheated my oven a little bit so that it is warm, so that when I clean this, it's just a little bit easier to clean. But I'm doing the same exact thing, baking soda and vinegar and my sponge. My oven is so bad. Like, it's as bad as it's ever been in the history of me being at this house, which is a very long time, because I baked so much during quarantine. If you saw any of my Bake With Me videos, you guys maybe saw 20%, maybe not even that, maybe 10% of what I actually baked. So it was so out of control, and you'll see in a little bit how hard I have to work to actually get that thing clean. But while that is setting, I am going to move back up to the stove top underneath and scrub this up and get this all perfectly clean and shiny.
It's a strange world we live in. It's all we want is loving, searching for things unspoken. We can't hold this talking. It's a strange world we live in. All we want is loving, searching for things unspoken. We can't hold this talking.
Next, I'm going to give these oven racks a clean. I am just putting a little bit of baking soda on this brush and squirting the brush with some vinegar, and basically just using that combination to scrub these oven racks. And I have to say, it did work pretty well. This is the first time I've ever done it like this. If I'm being perfectly honest, I do not clean my oven racks very often. So I haven't found a good method. So if you have a good method for cleaning oven racks, I would love to hear about it. Please leave it in the comments below, because I could use some tips and tricks. But this worked fairly well. As you can see, it made a huge mess of my brush and sink. So I know it got off some stuff, and I was pretty happy with how it turned out. Now back to this mess of an oven. The door part actually cleaned up really, really well, which I was happy with because it was very messy. Again, as messy as it's ever been. But I do find that baking soda works really well inside the oven. The only bad thing is if you are not good about rinsing it well, your oven can look a little bit chalky as you bake, just because like the baking soda dries out and then you can see it wherever you didn't wipe it down. So be sure if you do this to wipe it down really good with a wet sponge. And then the bottom of the oven, this is where I had the most trouble, and I scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed, and I used a pan scraper and everything else, and I could not get the stuff off of the bottom. Now, just a disclaimer, I never get all of the stuff off the bottom just because it's really cooked on there good, and I honestly am not sure that it was ever like 100% not on there when we moved in here, because this is a rental home. This is not a brand new oven. So I don't know if it's ever been fully clean. I can't remember, but I know that I never get it all the way clean. And that's okay, but this was way worse than normal. So I am going to work on this for quite a while, trying to get it all cleaned up, and my arm gets so sore, but it is worth it at the end because it does turn out pretty good, and it was nice to have a clean oven again.
Songs in my head now, they all make sense.
So this is how it looked after my initial cleaning, and I was not happy with it. So I took some Barkeeper's Friend and spread that out on here just because I know it's really good for metals and stainless steel and stuff, so I thought I'd give it a shot. And so I basically just went in with the sponge again and started scrubbing, and it did work a little bit better than the baking soda, but I still had to use my pan scraper and stuff, and like I said, I cannot get it all off. But at the end, I'm still happy with how it turned out. Once that is done, I'm going to give the outside of it a wipe. I always find that when I clean the inside of my oven, I get a lot of debris and things that end up outside my oven, so I always save that for last. And I do like to open the little warming drawer and give that a wipe down as well, because sometimes that catches a few things out of the oven. And then I'm moving on to the sink. So I am using soft scrub again here and a brush, and I'm just going to scrub the whole sink down, including up by the backsplash and everything, and just make this all fresh and clean as well. Since I'm over here giving the sink a little bit of love, I am also going to wash out this little dish tray that holds my dish soap and little scrub brush and whatnot, and then also put out a new sponge. I do change these frequently, but it was a good time to do it since I was cleaning. I'm also going to take care of the microwave today. As you can see, we cooked some bacon and it got all over the place. So I am actually going to throw that in the dishwasher, the little turning plate, and then I'm just going to give the microwave a wipe down. I do this just about every day or every other day anyway, but sometimes when we cook some things, it can get pretty messy, or at least certain things. And so it always seems to need a wipe down. But while I'm over here, I'm also going to take care of the whole outside of the microwave. This microwave does sit up a little bit off of the counter, which our previous microwave did not do this. So I do have to lift it and clean any kind of crumbs or whatnot like that gets underneath it. Because this sits by the toaster, it does tend to collect breadcrumbs under here. So I do like to go under here every so often and get that all cleaned out, and then also clean behind it. Now moving on to the fridge. I literally almost forgot to clean this during this video. I ended up having to come back to clean this because I forgot. But I am just gonna go through, and instead of removing everything all at once, I'm just going to remove, or even just move over some, like half of each shelf, and then just clean half of each shelf at a time. So it is not overly dirty anyway, it just needs a quick wipe down. So I'm just coming in here with a wet rag and, well, it's like a partially wet rag, and just wiping everything down and moving everything out of the way to do so. And then I'm also going through any food leftovers, anything that might be expired or that we don't use or need anymore, and getting rid of that as well. For the most part, we do keep up on the fridge really well. We're pretty good about eating leftovers. We're pretty good about using the things that we have. So there's not a lot that gets expired or that I have to get rid of. So, you know, you're not going to see me get rid of or throw away a ton of stuff, but I am going to do a little bit of work in rearranging it, just because it doesn't matter how many times I organize it. I always find that I have to reorganize it because we buy different things and eat different things and store different things all the time. I'm sure you know what that's like as well. So I am just going to get everything wiped down and put back so that it all looks neat and nice and fresh and clean. For the fruit and vegetable drawers, when these get pretty messy, I usually will take them over to the sink and wash them out with hot soapy water, but they were not very bad right now, so I just wiped them out with the rag that I had. And also when I removed them, I wiped underneath the drawers as well, and that is where things get like messy and collect crumbs. So I'm glad I did that. And then moving on to the door, I'm just giving the butter storage area a wipe down and then cleaning all the little shelves and nooks and crannies. Is anyone else's fridge like this where the milk sets, that's like the dirtiest part of your fridge? I have no idea why that happens, if it's just like dried milk or whatever that gets in there, but that's always the worst part of my fridge, I feel like. So I am removing all of the condiments and then wiping down the shelves, and if there's any little spills, getting that out of there. And then, like I said, I don't have a lot of expired products, so I'm basically just putting everything back. So now I'm moving on to my freezer, and I'm just rearranging a little bit of this. I did organize it recently. Well, I guess it's been 6 or 7 months whenever I last did my spring clean, but it has stayed pretty well. So I'm just basically moving anything that needs to go back to where it was and rearranging a little bit. And again, this is not something that has any expired products in it, so I'm not getting rid of anything, but I am just giving everything a good wipe down.
When That's all I wanna do. I hope that you are safe.
So now that all the appliances are clean, I am also just going to wipe down all of the cabinets. Again, I'm just using a damp rag for this. I do sometimes go in with like a pledge, but I didn't feel like my cabinets were super dirty and they didn't really need anything except for a quick wipe down. So that is what I did.
Even if you're gone, I will remember. You're all I know, what I need, and that ain't changing. If I could lay down beside you, I would. When nothing really matters, that's all I wanna do. I hope that you are safe and that I will see you soon. If I could lay down beside you, I would. If I could lay down beside you, I would. When nothing really matters, that's all I wanna do. I hope that you are safe and that I will see you soon. If I could lay down beside you, I would.
Next, I am wiping down all the counters, and I have talked about this before. I just use Windex usually on the counters for daily cleaning, and I do sanitize them with like Lysol or Clorox usually once a week, but I had just done that, so I'm going in with my Windex. I should have taken a picture or a video of what my counters look like when I do not use Windex, because very recently I ended up using a Lysol multi-purpose spray because they were out of Windex at the store, and the difference is crazy. The Lysol like leaves streaks on the counters, which you can't like really see unless it's in the sunlight and stuff, but for whatever reason that bothers me, and that is why I ever started using Windex in the first place, was because I didn't like to see the streaks on my countertops, and I find that Windex like shines it up just like it would glass, and it's good for just a multi-purpose spray. As weird as that is, it ends up working. So the last thing in the kitchen that I'm going to take care of are the floors. So I'm just going to do a quick sweep, and then I am going to mop. Now I am back up in the bathroom, and I am going to also sweep and mop up here. This is the last thing I am doing today. I did want to mention that I am not cleaning the shower today only because I cleaned it yesterday because I had time and it needed to be done, and we have some work that needs to get done on it, so that is why that was not included in this video. The next time I do a deep clean bathroom, I will share that with you as well, but it is in one of my previous videos, so if you want to check that out, I will link it below. But thank you so much for watching today. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up so I keep creating this content, and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified of anytime I post a video. I do post twice a week, usually on Tuesdays and Saturdays, so there's always new things to see. I appreciate you being here so much. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my next video.